Welcome to Dumpsville, USA. Population you. Do you want to scream? Do you want to cry? Do you just want to move the fuck on? Good music can help you do all three, and we are here to provide the optimal soundtrack. Welcome to the great pop culture debate on the best breakup songs. My feet are innocent, but they still lack rhythm. I'm your host, Eric Rezsnyak. Joining me today is my emotional support panel. She's living in a powder keg and giving off sparks. It's Karissa Kloss.
In my defense, I don't know what to do. I'm always in the dark.
If she could reach the stars, she'd give them all to you. Please welcome Kate Racculia.
You're goddamn right I would. That's not nearly as good as yours, Karissa.
It took me a long time, okay?
And he's the mess you left when you went away, Kevin Dillion.
Well, you ought to know, Eric.
Mm-hmm. Before we dive into the debate, let's go over how this works. We did a call for nominations of the best breakup song, which arguably worked a little too well, so check out the pre-show on our Patreon page for those details. We shaved that list down to roughly 200 options and had 75 people take the survey to pick their favorites. The top 32 vote getters were ranked by popularity, added to a bracket, and our panelists have made their decisions. Now we argue about it and insult each other, all for your amusement. Do you want to follow along at home? Good. You can find all the brackets, including the one for this episode, at greatpopculturedebate.com. So let's go over the unanimous victors for round one first. The conversation has not run dry for Natalie Imbruglia's Torn, which left the Beatles yesterday in the past. I will avoid the easy pun and simply state that 2-seed Nothing Compares to You tore up Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier. Number 1 seed Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive deflected Miley Cyrus and her Wrecking Ball. Dolly Parton's version of I Will Always Love You made Amy Winehouse's Back to Black fade into oblivion, and 1 seed You Oughta Know was a safe bet compared to Phil Collins' Against All Odds. Lastly, 2 seed Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers made sure that Coldplay's The Scientist never even left the lab. Now we get on to the debates. We were evenly split between 1 seed Total Eclipse of the Heart and 8 seed U2's With or Without You. Karissa, explain your wrong decision.
So this is the only time in my life that you will ever hear me say this, but I think that male voices are actually not really represented in this bracket.
Fair.
I know. I can't believe I said it either. But I think, so before we had this conversation, I watched the video for this, which is amazing because it's Bono with his ponytail and he's wearing a leather vest and nothing else. And he's
no pants,
right? There might be pants. I don't know. I couldn't get past like the hair, the chest hair, and the cross necklace because, of course. But it kind of just represents that whole like 90s angsty ballad stuff, which we didn't get a lot of. We had a lot of in the 80s with like the power ballads, but the 90s was kind of, we didn't really have that. So this is a little representative of that. Plus, it's Bono like soulfully singing like about the feelings of I can't live with you, but I also can't live without you. Like that's a terrible place to be in. And I think a lot of us have been there.
So, Kate, I'm going to let you defend Total Eclipse, but before we do that, I just want to point out to Karissa, you were comparing the video of With or Without You to Total Eclipse of the Heart, and you thought that With or Without You was amazing. Have you watched the video for Total Eclipse of the Heart? Because it is like, we're going to, a spoiler, at some point.
I'm going to do this now. Yeah.
We're going to do a bracket on the gayest videos ever made, and Total Eclipse of the Heart is resplendent, is the only word that I think kind of sums it up. But Kate, I'm sorry, go ahead. You're going to defend Total Eclipse.
So this actually is a really controversial place to begin this discussion because, of course, I was like, I love U2. I listened to a ton of U2 when I was deep in my teenage feels, which is to the present day, I guess.
Of course.
still feeling them. But Total Eclipse of the Heart is the video is batshit, right? So like that always kind of like gets it up in my, like, this is a quality thing rubric, but it is an iconic descriptor of how a broken heart feels, right? My heart has gone into a total eclipse, right? And it's very dramatic and it's very emotional. And now I'm wondering why it's all coming back to me now. It's not in this bracket, but it's not really a breakup song. But it is a swan song about feelings, about the feeling of of being of having what you thought was true and which was your love is no more. But I'm sorry, Eric. I know I chose this song, and it is my job to defend it.
Oh my God.
But while I was preparing for this episode, I listened to With or Without You again. And then I remembered the last time I heard that song playing in my car at a stoplight. And I remembered the last episode of The Americans and how it uses this song and how I burst into uncontrollable sobbing tears in my car in a public place.
Yes.
Good. Come to the dark side. Yes.
The part where Bono just like that is the sound of a broken goddamn heart. And I'm sorry, I betrayed you.
You have betrayed me.
Good job.
I am gagged. I am shooketh. I feel as though my heart is breaking right now. And I'm like, you want to talk about a voice that like resonates broken heart. Bonnie fucking Tyler just speaking to you. Bonnie Tyler placing her order at McDonald's is like, oh my God, I feel your pain. Like, give this good girl a cookie, right? Like, she's been through it. Look at all the mascara she wears in that video. She has been through some shit. And so it's crazy to me. It's actually crazy. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do this because this is insane to me. No. I'm not going to reverse your decision. I'm not going to do that. I will respect the will of the people, even though it is wrong. Sidebar, this is why democracy does not work, people. But I am going to challenge this just because I feel like if I don't speak on behalf of this now, I'll never have my time. But like, total eclipse of the heart. It is, well, first of all, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't With or Without You also 80s? I think it's 80s, not 90s.
It's 89, I think.
It's like right on the cusp. Yeah.
It's on the cusp.
It's in that, yeah, and 89 to 92 to me is that like a weird period in its own, it's almost its own decade, honestly.
Yes.
But like, total eclipse is that 80s just extravagance and ridiculousness.
Yeah, but With or Without You is Friends. It is the breakup of Ross and Rachel. It is the most it was the 90s. They paid for that song in Friends. They paid U2. It defined breakups in the 90s. It was the ultimate TV show breakup song. It was that. It was that bitch.
I understand when I'm beaten, I'm going to do this, but I will also go to one point that Karissa said, like, there aren't a lot of male voices on this, and that's true. And I'm fine with it for a couple reasons. Number one, I don't give a fucking shit about male pain. Like, I don't.
I mean, same.
You have had your time. You still have your time. I'm uninterested. Like, get over it. This is also why, like, I love female country. I cannot get into male country. It's just, whatever. Okay, that's just me. But I love the fact that, like, the women are basically dominating this discussion because men are the worst. Objectively, they are terrible. And you should be singing about heartbreak because men are fucking awful. And I can say that because I am a man. So, okay. With or Without You is continuing. I can't even believe we're here. We're just starting.
Rip Heartbreak. Out your hearts. Sorry.
I'm going to write a song about this betrayal. I'm going to come at you with an amazing video, and I'll hit you on the flip side.
I will say, if this was a video competition,
straight to the top, number one.
Eclipse is batshit. So yeah, that would go straight. I mean, leather vest, what?
I cannot even compare. But also, while we're out there, folks, make sure you check out the literal interpretation, the literal video version of Total Eclipse of the Heart. So good. Find it. Amazing. Okay, moving on. 3/4 of us had 3-seed Careless Whisper advancing over Justin Timberlake's 6-seed Cry Me a River. Kevin, why did you decide to go with JT here?
I think, to be honest, I listened to Careless Whisper a couple times before this, and I love George Michael. And I know that you all love the saxophone riff. It just feels whiny to me, like meh. Like I don't know. That's not the breakup song that I want to listen to for me when I'm like getting over someone. I want to fuck you. You slept with Tice Diorio. I want to dance around with Timbaland kind of breakup song. Like that's my breakup song. I want that, like, and it slaps. And, I think the other thing that I love about this song is its popularity. It's so popular and it so resonates that Lady Bird director Greta Gerwig wrote Justin Timberlake a personalized letter asking to use the song in the movie, and he let her use it for free because it represented that early 2000s breakup.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
and
it is an iconic song.
And I will say, like, I voted for Careless Whisper, but this to me was the hardest decision in the first round, hands down, because they are both excellent songs. Here's two instances where I don't care about male pain because, like, it's legit and it's not. I mean, is Careless Whisper overdone and overwrought? Sure. But it's fucking Careless Whisper. And Kate, I'm going to defer to you to defend this, but don't you dare backstab me again.
I promise. No, I won't. I like when I saw like the songs that I was going to get to talk about, I was like, oh, Careless Whisper. Like there are three things that for various reasons make me weak in the knees. A kitten, Keanu Reeves, and a fucking saxophone solo. Like,
yes.
I just like my body has like a full limbic response to it, and it can't be like part of what makes music so crucial about with as like a tool to understand breakups and heartbreaks and moving on, and like is that music says things that words can't, right? Like humans understand the sort of harmonic resonance of notes played in a certain order, played in a certain instrument, put together. And so I was reading up about Careless Whisper earlier today, a little bit, like, you know, not like deep research, just Wikipedia. And apparently like George Michael based it on his like teenage self two-timing like two girls. Two other teenage girls, and he's like, a careless whisper would have let one of them know that I was dating the other one. And like I just like that in some ways like makes it
so
even
good.
more perfect, because it's so like Guilty Feet Have Got No Rhythm is so stupid. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. End of argument.
And I would say this, like, Kevin, you thought it was whiny. I've never found Careless Whisper whiny. I've almost felt it like I am a bad person and I have fucked up. Like I've not found it to be whiny as much as like, oh shit, I have really hurt some people and I'm a bad human being.
Maybe
so
it's my least favorite George Michael. Like it's at least favorite popular George Michael song. Like it just is so schmaltzy.
Oh, babe, like if we're going to do like George Michael bracket, I agree with you. Like virtually any other George Michael song is above it. But in this particular area, to me, it's a winner. So it sounds like we're agreed that Careless Whisper is advancing.
Yes.
Karissa, you're still on team Careless?
I am.
Boo.
Great. All right. We were split again between 7-seed Crazy by Patsy Cline and 2-seed Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. Karissa, why did you pick that extra cheesy Mac?
Because if we're talking about a breakup song that is a fuck you, this is that. Lindsey Buckingham wrote it as a message to Stevie Nicks, and it's so passive aggressive. Go your own way. And the best thing is that it became a hit, and then she had to sing it constantly.
Okay, that's a good argument, because I will say one of the great thing about Fleetwood Mac is like the pettiness squabble that went on for decades between them. We're like, I'm gonna write this shitty song about you, and you have to play it every fucking night. So eat shit.
And in the song, he accused her of cheating and like packing up and shacking up. And she says she never did it. And she tried to get him to take that line out, and he refused.
Yes.
So like, there you go. And then the worst thing you could do is just make it famous. So there you go. I mean,
that's a damn good argument. And I would say I'm going to defend Crazy, but the pettiness, like huge points for pettiness. So here's what I will say about Crazy, and Kevin, feel free to jump in and augment this. What I love about Crazy is that it is a sad song, and it is like the plaintive, oh, woe is me. But what I love about it, number one, it's so classic. It is so beautifully done. But it's also someone who's singing their heart out about the fact that they fucking knew that this guy was going to screw them over, and they did it anyway, and they should have known better. Which, sidebar, why should have known better? Not by what's his face? Oh God, Richard Marx.
Oh yeah,
not on here. It's a great song. But like, it's like, I never should have fallen for this person. And now I feel so stupid. And Kevin and I think we both have a certain individual in mind who we both had dealings with, who I could say is frankly very easily encapsulated by the song. So I will fine if Fleetwood Mac continues, but I also want to speak up. I love Patsy Cline and I love this song. Kevin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I guess for me, we also don't have like this is like it. Not only is it a great breakup song, it's like it's oddly empowering because it's like, am I crazy? Did I do like? I think it's like she takes the words of the song and she's like, I'm crazy for loving you, like, and having this like it's the thing that we all have felt. We've all felt that way, one way or another. Am I crazy for loving this person? I still love them, even though we're broken up. And I think it's an emotionally resonant song. It's one of the few only like really classic songs that we have on the list too.
Yeah.
And I think we are a little bit more in this like recency 80s, 90s, 2000s. And I think if we're talking all time, we really should push forward a song that represents multi-generational music. And I think that's why Crazy should progress.
I will argue on that last point that we have songs. So yes, we have this one in there, but we've got songs from the 60s that are in here, songs from the 70s. It's actually, there's 50 years worth of songs that made this ballot, which I felt, or bracket, I should say.
For sure. It's just that the more recent ones have tended to push forward. That's why my argument would be to put, because I know that as we move forward in the bracket, I want to do right by those older songs that we have in there.
I hear that. I am fine changing my vote to Go Your Own Way here. So I know, and you can hate me.
These songs, you guys, I'm going to be fighting you all this whole way. I know that. Because you all picked terrible brackets.
All right. So Go Your Own Way advances. Sorry about that. We have another split decision. Number 1 seed, Someone Like You by Heartbreak Queen Adele. And 8 seed, Take a Bow by Madonna. Karissa, why Adele?
Well, I'm happy to say, Kevin, that we are both on the same side for this one.
We are.
And I don't really have an affinity for Adele other than just, the songs I've heard on the radio. So I wouldn't say that I'm a super fan or anything like that. But this song is just, talk about like a classic kind of song. There's that swelling piano and her voice is just so beautiful and so soulful. And she's singing about, the pain of like the person that you broke up with has moved on so far that they don't even remember who you are, and you're like, yeah, sure. It's fine. It's cool. I don't really care either. But clearly you do. I don't know. I think she hits at a fairly universal feeling and in such a beautiful way.
So I'm going to defend Madonna, and I would start by saying that like everything you just said about Adele is true. Personally, Someone Like You is actually my least favorite of the Adele songs.
Rolling in the deep.
Hello, When We Were Young.
It's not the iconic breakup song.
Yeah, but I got outvoted on that one. Like all of those were initially on the ballot, and people had to pick one, and that was the one that people were like, oh no, it has to be Someone Like You. And I get it because it's hugely popular. It's also a very popular funeral song, which I think is weird, but whatever.
Oh,
that's creepy.
Isn't it creepy?
That's creepy.
Yeah.
No.
I don't get, but whatever. So meanwhile, I'm going to talk about Take a Bow, Madonna, which to me, so I'll get this out of the way. We'll go to the video. That video is fucking gorgeous. And Madonna looks incredible in it. Like
it's like peak Madonna moment. It's so
peak
good.
Madonna moment. That Matador's ass could crack chestnuts. Like it's so evocative and beautiful. I also think this is one of Madonna's most beautiful vocals. It is lilting and you feel the pain in her heart. And again, it's that like, well, you fucked me over. Great job to you. I'm moving on type thing. And I love, love, love this song. I will understand if people do want to advance Adele. This was an 8 seed versus a 1 seed. But to me, again, that one particular Adele song is my least favorite of hers. And this is one of my most favorite Madonnas. So I'm going to put it to a vote. Kate, where do you come down here?
Oh, I am hardcore Take a Bow. Hard.
Kevin, where are you falling?
This is tough. And this was actually, and I apologize. My colleagues on the podcast all made excellent ballots. I'm only teasing them. this is a hard one for me, honestly, because I absolutely adore both songs. I was one of the arm twisters for Someone Like You. It's Adele's #1 song on Spotify. I hear sad girls play it outside their window all the time.
Sure.
It is that song. And I think I love Take a Bow, and it is one of my favorite Madonna songs, and I'm a huge Madonna fan. But if we're talking about, and I'm going to argue against what I said about recency bias, but if we're talking about a song that, even though it's creepy that people play it at funerals, that is gonna be that song, that iconic breakup song, I think it's Someone Like You.
Okay, and I will say, I'm fine advancing Someone Like You. It is a 1 seed over an 8 seed, but I wanted to speak passionately for it. Kate, do you have anything else you want to add before we bid adieu to Madge?
The show is over. Say goodbye.
Oh, amen. Well
this
done.
Is like her Evita audition video. God,
it was.
It's so good.
That should be the reason alone it doesn't go forward.
We'll get to that at some point, because I will defend Madonna in Evita. I don't think she's bad as everyone says she is, but that's fine.
Patti LuPone's got your address.
Patti LuPone can come over and we will get into it, but she knows where to find me. She better be ready to do it when she finds me. She can come to me. All right. So we are moving forward. Someone Like You. 3/4 of us preferred Survivor by Destiny's Child, a 5 seed, to CeeLo Green's lone solo hit, Fuck You, a 4 seed. Kate, you went with CeeLo. Talk to me about that.
So I did, because in this moment, I was and part of it too is that it's that single song from an artist, right? Like, this is not my favorite Destiny's Child song. Independent Woman, part one. It's by far, my favorite Destiny's Child song. But it's just when I was listening to it again today, it's just it's a very repetitive. It just was more annoying to listen to, which I feel so bad, except for the part where at the end where they're like, I love a breakup song that has instructions or tells you what is going to happen. She's not going to compromise my Christianity. And it's I really love that part of it, but I don't have any desire to listen to this song in the club. I have a desire to listen to Fuck You in the club. That is so much more fun to dance to.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Unpopular opinions by Kate.
That's fine. Hot takes by Kate. But I would say that I actually think Survivor is one of my favorite Destiny Child songs. And I do think it's a better club bop. And to me, the lyrics in it are so goofy that they almost become amazing.
They are amazing.
But I couldn't see without you. Perfect vision. It's
so great. It's poetry.
So terrible, but it's great. And I think I this is kind of a nonsense argument.
Not gonna diss you on the internet.
It's so good. That tag at the end of the song where Beyonce's like, I will survive being fly. I will survive being bootylicious. That's amazing. And to me, every time I hear it, it makes me smile. But that's neither here nor there. I actually think Survivor is a genuinely good pop song. I think the chorus gets you fucking pumped. And you could crowd surf to Survivor. And it is lift you up and fuck that guy. I am moving on. I don't need this broke ass man. It's kind of like a prequel to No Scrubs, which was nominated at one point, but I don't think is a breakup song. It's a I'm not going to date you because you're a loser song.
Yes.
So for that reason, I vote for Survivor. Kevin and Karissa, are you keeping your picks?
Yes.
I won't vote for homophobia, so yep.
I'm
in.
Oh, right.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
There you go. The majority of us laced up Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Are Made for Walkin', but Karissa went with the earnest Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton, a 3 seed. Karissa, unbreak my argument.
Well, if we're talking about beautiful songstresses in videos, Toni Braxton, she is stunning. And so this video, which I just rewatched, and I don't know if I actually had seen it when it first came out, because I did not have MTV. But in this video, she's having a breakdown in her hallway in her underwear. And so she's saying, unbreak my heart, make you love me again. She's trying to rewind. And so there's flashbacks to her and her man doing stuff together. And it's fucking hilarious. Like, okay, first they're swimming in a pool and you're like, okay. And then she's shaving his face. Like he's all lathered up and she's got a razor. And
no one does that. No one does. No
and
one does
then they're
that.
playing Twister. They are playing Twister. And like in their pajamas, just in the middle of their floor, just the two of them. And then he's brushing her hair. It's like, what? So
The
I
90s
don't
were
know.
wild. They really were.
And she's stunning and she's beautiful. And her voice, you know, what she's saying is just like, can we rewind? Like just a little bit. And, you know, and you want to let her, you want to do it.
You do. And that voice, I will say, is a singular voice and is so beautiful. I think that is her best vocal, possibly her best song.
Yes.
But Kevin, you're going to defend Nancy Sinatra.
Nancy Sinatra, this song is a song that's been one of the things that I thought about as I was, I'm like, which one of these songs is so powerful and present that it's even been redone in pop culture? And like that people wanted to like continue the legacy of the iconography of this song. And this was one of them with, I believe, Jessica Simpson for the Dukes of Hazzard movie. We'll negate that and forget about that. But this song is just so iconic. It is really like I'm out of here. Like I'm done with you. I'm good. Like it is exactly what I want after a breakup. I want to feel like I'm moving forward, moving on. And while I definitely think that Unbreak My Heart is Toni Braxton's best vocals, it's a great song. This was also a tough decision. I think that longevity and power is on Nancy Sinatra's side.
Yeah, and I will add that Boots is from the beginning that like descending scale of chords. It gets you right into it. You have got the beat, and then the end, like, come on, are you ready, Boots? Stop walking. Like, how are you not shaking your cha-chas and like like you're sissying that walk, and you know you are the hottest thing on that street, and the other ones, fuck them. Like it is great. And there have been many covers of it. None of them, in my opinion, have touched the original. It
Correct.
is she's not a great singer, but she has got the power.
She's
and
the right singer for that song, right? Like, yeah. And there's some songs that you can listen to. Like they have they're like perpetual motion machines, or like they have a perpetual energy, like they create their own energy, right? Like, cause like you listen to some songs and you're like, I don't need to hear that again. I'm fine. But like some songs, every time you hear them, you're like, God damn, that sounds good. God damn, every time you listen to that song, it sounds good.
Yeah, and this is one of them, and it's got a great structure, like the actual structure of the song.
Yeah,
it builds that like 60s flourish where you can't help but move, right? It's amazing. So it sounds like Kate and Kevin were sticking with our votes for these boots.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Tony. 3/4 of us turned down the lights for Bonnie Raitt's I Can't Make You Love Me. I was the lone holdout for All by Myself by Celine Dion. So I'm going to stand by the fountain, realizing that I am butt crazy in love with Josh. And then I'm going to let Kate explain why I'm a virgin who can't drive. So
I hope not sporadically.
Not sporadically. I fully understand why Bonnie Raitt is advancing here. And in fact, I don't disagree. I think it is the correct one. But someone pointed out earlier, I think it was Kate, like, why is it's all coming back to me, not on this list? Again, the curse of the one song per artist. And to me, that All by Myself, it is a cover. I believe, who does the original? Is it Eric Carmen? Can that be right? No.
I'll find out.
Anyway, Celine's version of it to me is the superior version. And it is like, that's one that I do genuinely go to when I'm dealing with heartbreak, and I'm not one for maudlin songs.
It is Eric Carmen.
But this one is just, it is Eric Carmen. It is so like glorious when she opens up like right there at the bridge, and it's just like almost keening with pain. And she's just like, she cannot deal with this anymore. But I also am associating with a very specific moment in a very specific movie that was very important to me in my teenage development, which is Clueless. And I cannot deny it. So I get you. Bonnie Raitt, classic. Kate, take it away.
Oh my God, this song. I remember listening to this song as like a young person and being like, oh, that's how it's going to feel. And guess what?
Spoilers.
Bonnie told us the truth. It's a beautiful, it's a beautiful song. Again, in terms of songwriting craft, there's nothing extra in it. It just kind of is. It is what it is. Her performance, she just sounds like she's completely heartbroken. And one of the things that I love about like a breakup or a heartbreak song is a song that is a beautiful expression of artistry or emotion or creative energy towards a lost cause, right? Like this is a lost cause, but like it meant something to her, so she is going to immortalize it in this song that teaches like little 11-year-olds about what heartbreak feels like. And like when she gets to the end and she sings about how she's going to give up this fight, like this is the last night, right? It creates a scene, like you're in that moment with them. It's just an absolutely beautiful, heartbreaking song. I love it.
Yeah. I can't argue that. So Karissa and Kevin, you're staying with Bonnie Raitt?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So we're moving her on. Three of us again spoke up for No Doubt's Don't Speak, a 2-seed, but Kate preferred 7-seed Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine. Kate, you want to take that one?
This is Don't Speak is great. It is a great song. Like, it's her talking about her breakup with Tony in the band. And so it's extremely personal. Again, in that sort of like make a real popular song and then you always got to play it together. Excuse me. But Dog Days Are Over is that other kind of breakup song, right? Like there are a million ways to get your heart broken. There are a million ways to get yourself free. And Dog Days Are Over for me is the story of what happened to my heart after I broke up with my toxic finance job. I was like, oh my God, I'm like happy again and I'm not stressed out all the time and I'm gaining weight, which means I'm happy, which, whatever, it's fine. It's like get to your normal body weight. But like the way that she sings about like the motion of running away from something to something more welcoming and warm and run fast for your mother, run fast for your father, like that time is over and now the horses are coming and you're going to be more powerful than you ever imagined you could be. I just love that image. I loved that feeling. Like that is how it felt to like be a person who all of a sudden didn't hate waking up in the morning to like go to this job. Like, so yeah, that's why I chose Dog Days Are Over. But like I completely respect and I'm okay with Don't Speak going forward.
And Kevin, do you want to speak on behalf of No Doubt?
I mean, No Doubt. I think I've been listening to them a little bit more lately. I stopped because Gwen Stefani's solo career just wasn't the thing for me. But I've been listening to No Doubt lately, and they are really great. And they actually have a couple of really good breakup songs. Another really good one for me is Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah,
I love that song. Oh my God. That was in the movie Go. But Don't Speak that's another song that personified the late 90s. It actually, and this is a fun fact, it didn't qualify to be a Billboard single because of the way it was packaged or sold or something of that nature. But it actually does hold the record for the most times at number 1 on the Billboard charts. But there was a reason that they couldn't count it because of the way it was packaged and sold. There's this podcast I listened to. It's called Hit Parade, and it's about how songs didn't or did get to number 1 on the Billboard charts. So it's a highly recommend podcast, and they talk a lot about No Doubt's Don't Speak, and it is the breakup. It is a breakup song. It is the moment. It is definitely one of the most iconic breakup songs of the 90s.
Yeah, and I have to say, Kate, I loved everything you said about Dog Days, and I agree that amazing feeling, like joy and release, and like I am no longer in this fucking bullshit. I get it. Like, if it was up against anything else, except for Don't Speak, I think I probably would have moved it on. But I'm sticking with No Doubt on this. Karissa?
Yeah, I agree with everything.
Respect.
No doubt.
Respect.
Respect. Three of us did a hair toss and checked our nails. It's 4-seed Good as Hell by Lizzo. But Kevin preferred to dig his keys into the side of your pretty little 4-wheel drive by picking Before He Cheats by American Idol Carrie Underwood, a.k.a. Conderwood. It's always what I call her. So Kevin, I'm going to ask you to go first.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you all this one. I personally think Lizzo's a little too recent to have an iconic breakup song. I know it's a great song and it is a good breakup song. Um, and believe me, I've seen a lot of people like on Instagram and on Twitter do videos to this song. So it has its recent iconic moments, and a lot of people love this, and it's super popular. But I mean, you can't go to a karaoke bar without hearing someone belt out Before He Cheats. Like, it is a given. It's that eternal, like, fuck you, I'm done with you, and I'm going to take a baseball bat to your car. Like, I don't give a shit about you song. So, like, that for me was what put it over the top. And, you know, maybe Good as Hell will get there, but for me, it's just not that yet. Glad it made the bracket, but not there yet.
Kate, do you want to talk about Lizzo?
I do. I respect that. And I think that that's an interesting, because it is like, I mean, I don't understand what time is anymore, but I think this only came out within the last year, right?
I would say 2 years ago. It was definitely a lip sync in, I want to say, season 10 of Drag Race. So it's going to be at least 2 years.
Okay, so 2 years. And I think that's what's so extraordinary about it, is that, like, it is recent, but it is iconic. It's so catchy. It is that feeling of release and joy. It has instructions. Like, she tells you what to do. It's also the point of view of the song is like she is giving you, the heartbroken person, like some strength, you know, and this is what you do. You toss your hair, you check your nails. How are you feeling? I'm feeling good as hell. And there's also something in that construction, I think, that good as hell, right? It allows for the possibility of pain, right? Hell, right? So like you have that kind of salty, sweet, I feel great and I'm hurting and I'm choosing to like go into this place of like strength and joy. And also like the instruction, if he don't love you anymore, you walk your fine ass out that door. Yes. 1,000 times forever. Yes.
Slow clap.
Get it.
Slow clap.
Yep.
And I will say, like, in the last year, I've had a lot of women in my life who have been dealing with breakups from really terrible men. Again, men are the worst. And literally every single one of them, I'm like, have you listened to Lizzo? And they're like, no, what's that? And I'm like, okay, here, seriously, I'm prescribing you like a doctor. Go and put on Good as Hell and also her entire last album. I was like, and then come back, take 2 of those and see me in the morning. Every single one of them, I'm not even joking, every single one of them was like, fucking thank you. That is exactly what I needed because men are the worst and I don't need them. I was like, yes, exactly. You don't need it. So I hear what you're saying. And Kevin, I adore Cunderwood. Before He Cheats is great. Pettiness is my signature color. So I am all for busting out the windows on the car. But like in terms of like moving forward and that like strutting the ass down the street in your apple bottom jeans, feeling good, I'm going with Lizzo on this one. Chris, are you still Lizzo?
Yes, but this one was a really hard. This might have been my hardest choice in this whole first round.
It's a tough call.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough call, and that is a well-crafted bracket, right? Like all of these, there was no fat on this bracket, so good job to people who took it.
I do think that Before He Cheats represents like the best parts of female country, especially in this genre. So
yes,
yeah, props to that song.
Exactly. And I will say that country in a general is underrepresented on this bracket, which is unfortunate because country is a breakup genre.
Yep.
I can't explain it. We had plenty of country songs on the ballot. I wanted to make sure of that. But I will agree that Before He Cheats is a great summation of country breakup song, and it's excellent. It's just unfortunately up against Good as Hell. Finally, we have One Name Diva Showdown. The majority of us preferred 6 seed If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher to 3 seed Dancing on My Own by Robin. Carissa, why did you go to Robin?
So if you are a Patreon supporter of the show, then you already know because you've listened to our season 0. Is this? We can take this out. I don't know.
No, we aren't. Thank you for that plug, Carissa. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Season 0, where we debated the best Drag Race lip sync, and I poured my entire heart onto the floor about the Ruju v. Raja versus Juju. Sorry, Raven versus Juju doing Dancing on My Own in All Stars 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and how I cannot listen to this song without getting full body goosebumps and starting to cry. So I just like I don't know what to say. Like Kate talks about her full limbic response to kittens, and like that's how I am with this song. So
I get it and I respect it. It's a great song and I know how much you love that lip sync. It is a great song, but I'm going to snap you out of it by supporting Cher.
Stupid, and subscribe to our Patreon.
It is crazy to me that If I Could Turn Back Time is a 6 seed. Like crazy to me.
100%.
Crazy.
Because much like and I know this went out in fucking first round, but Total Eclipse of the Heart, it is that epic, like swirling emotion of like pathos. And I love it. Cher has so many great breakup songs. Like seriously, I believe that Cher is the queen of breakup songs. No respect to Adele and Taylor Swift, but Cher is the OG.
I gotta give it to Cher too. Yeah,
like she's so good. And Turn Back Time, it is, yes, a breakup song. It is her talking about the things that she did that she wished she could take back, but it's a fucking banger. And that is a song you will twirl and twirl and twirl towards freedom. And I cannot see this song going out in round one. I cannot do it. You tell me you listen to Turn Back Time and you aren't singing by the end and like stomping in rhythm to the song. Like you tell me you can't do that.
I'm doing
Kevin,
it. I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now.
I just did it. Yes.
I mean,
Kevin, where do you stand?
Assless chaps on a Navy ship.
Riding that giant cannon. We have all been there. Yes. Oh, it reminds me of a Saturday night.
Oh God, quarantine. I miss it.
Quarantine.
I mean, Cher, that's interesting. I don't know. We've talked a little bit about this on the podcast, like who the iconic breakup song person is. And in many ways, Cher is kind of like the Elizabeth Taylor of music, really. Because she had all those different marriages and relationships. And that was something she was known for. And maybe we shouldn't know female singers for that. But, you know, we kind of do. And like Cher wrote a lot of music about it. You know, she wrote a lot of really good music about it. And or has a lot of good songs that are centered on it. I don't know if she's written some of her or all of her music, but she really belts it out. And this is, I mean, I remember young little Kevin dancing around to this song and like, I was just empowered by it. And I think that's the thing. This is an empowering song. And I always used to be like, oh my God, this is her song about her breaking up with Sonny. I mean, I remember saying that to my mom and being like, oh, this is so beautiful. This is such a great tribute to a breakup as a little kid.
It's the way.
And she's just like, gay.
Yeah, back then. But it's just such a beautiful song. And it's a great breakup song. And it has to move on. I love Robin, but I can't let her beat Cher. I can't.
Same. And there's something, what you said there too, Kevin, that I love. Like, Cher is about pain empowering you, right?
Yeah.
And there's something about, like, in almost everything she does, she's like, life has not been easy, but like, I have been joyful and I have made art and I am strong and I'm still here and I am enjoying my life, right? And like, there's something in the lyrics of the song. It's so sad. She's so like, it's so alive and she's so like working through these feelings, but also like the video as an instruction for like what you should do if you're going through a breakup, like go to like a battleship with all of the sailors, you know.
Oh, yes.
And like
Fleet Week,
wear some electrical like it just, everything about that is iconic. Everything.
Yeah. Like Cher is musical masochism, right? It's like like all these horrible things have happened to me, but I am fucking amazing. I feel great. And for that reason, I think Cher has to advance. So
Agreed.
That's it for round one, folks. We've gone from the overwrought 32 to the sweet 16. What did you think of our picks? Head to greatpopculturedebate.com and give us your picks. Then come on back later this week for part 2 when we get to Dolly Parton versus Gloria Gaynor, Alanis Morissette versus Lizzo, women bearing their souls and putting terrible men on blast. This is the America I want to live in, and we hope to see you soon.